Hey everyone, welcome to Adobe Live on our special holiday week. Woohoo! It's holiday week. Oh, it's so exciting. My name is Cody and I will be your host for the next hour. We are so excited to have you guys join us this week. We're going to have tons of awesome holiday projects and streams planned, including today. After me, we have Wade Acuff. He's going to be making DIY ornaments. And then we also have holiday cards and stickers with Annika Agarwal. And then after that, we have a New Year's self-portrait with Idara Ekpo. It's going to be just an awesome day and an awesome week. And today for my stream, we are going to be, or I am rather, going to be walking you through how to create a repeating pattern. You can use it for pretty much any mockup you like, but we are going to be putting it specifically on a wrapping paper design. If you wanted to maybe like put it in your portfolio for the future or to show a client or something like that. So yeah, it's going to be really exciting. And also we have a download file for you guys. Actually, I'm just going to pop on over to Photoshop for a second and I can show you guys my holiday assets file that I have. And we have a link for that as well. So I don't know, Wade, you might have the link for it. You can post it in chat. It might be down below as well. I'm not entirely sure. But we have this link for you guys for assets, and I actually have the files all separated out. So if you want to change the colors or anything like that, you can feel free to create a pattern along with me. And we're also going to be asking chat if you guys would like to start putting some suggestions. We're going to be drawing a couple more assets to put into our design today. But before we get started on that, I want to say hey to everyone in chat. Hey, Annika, Sam, Becca, Carol, Oliver, welcome. Wade, everyone. Good to see you guys. Val, oh my gosh, it's just like so many mods in chat right now. Hi, everyone. Welcome. Oh, Sam's on it. Sam's our mod. That's right. Wait, not Wade. Wade's streaming after me. Wade's not modding right now. Sam is our awesome mod today. Thank you so much. Welcome, everyone. Okay, so I am going to pop on over and make a new file. And you guys can start putting your suggestions in chat while I get this new file going. We're going to be making 3 more assets really quick, so you can just pop those in. And also after the stream, by the way, I will update the downloadable file for you guys in that CC library with our new assets that we create in the stream too. So I am going to go ahead and go over here. I'm going to make a new file. And for me, I just personally typically like to work in 8 by 8 inches, and that equals out to 2,400 by 2,400 pixels. And we're going to do a 300 resolution. And I'm just going to go ahead and create. You want your file, when you're making a repeating pattern, you want your file to be square. So for me, I want my background to be this cream color here. Oliver says, all the mods in chat, I best behave. Yes, indeed. Hey, David, Peter, welcome. How are you guys doing? Okay, so I am going to go ahead and go back here. Annika says, I love the snowman. So cute. Yes, we have, if you look, I actually labeled my layers, by the way, this time because I knew I was giving you guys the assets. So I know I actually prepared this file for you. So we have a snow friend and ginger friend. That was what I labeled the layers as. So I'm gonna just draw a couple of different things here. Val says, I'm so pumped. I already started making patterns. Oh, that's so exciting. Yay. Okay, so I think what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna grab this red here just to keep our color palette really minimal. I'm grabbing from colors that I've already previously used from our other assets. And also, by the way, you guys, I have these assets set up that, like for instance, all of these different like stars and sparkles are in their own layer. So if you wanted to, you could go up here. They are all what are those called? Smart objects. I totally lost the word there for a second. But if you wanted to change the color, you could always just rasterize the layer and then lock the transparency right here. And you could go over here and change that color if you really wanted to change the color to something different. So I left that option open for you guys. So I separated everything out. But I'm going to make a new layer and we are going to grab this red. I think I'm just gonna go ahead and like make a like quick candy cane. I think that might be a good addition. Hey Doris, RB, welcome everyone. Thank you all so much for joining. Also, aren't these fonts beautiful, by the way? Oh my gosh. So if you guys like these fonts, I can look them up really quick. I forget what the names are right off the top of my head, but I got them from fonts.adobe.com. Right now, if you go to their categories section, they have a holiday category, and all three of these fonts are from the holiday category, and they are just gorgeous. The script one that I have in the middle and as my name has a bunch of different glyphs for like tails for the letters, and it's just really pretty. Yeah, so I'm not even gonna sketch this. I'm just throwing down a shape here. The brush that I'm using is called Conte Crayon. It is by Kyle T. Webster. You can download his brushes for free if you have a CC subscription. RB says, if you lock transparency, what happens if the key is lost? Thankfully, Photoshop does not lose your keys. Hey, Doris, did I say hi to you? It's fine. Hi, Doris. Welcome, everyone. Welcome, welcome. I'm so excited to see everyone else's projects that they're going to be working on today. I don't know if we plan on like uploading these everyone's projects to Discord or anything like that, but I would love to see your guys' projects on Discord. I'm actually going to go ahead and make a new layer, and because I want to make the candy cane stripes, I'm going to make a new layer over top of that red layer that we just did, and I'm going to hold down Alt, and then I'm going to move my mouse in between those two layers, and you see how it turns into a drop-down arrow there, and then I'm going to click, and so now that layer on top has been created has been made into a clipping mask. So what I can do is I can go in, I'm going to grab this cream color from our snowman, again keeping that really minimal palette. I'm going to reuse colors, and I'm going to go in here with that same brush on that layer. And now, as you can see, I can use that cream color to paint inside that candy cane shape that I already previously created. Really, really helpful. I use clipping masks all the time. All the time. And I might even add just like an extra little stripe just to add a little extra fancy. Want some fancy on this early Monday, right? Cool. I'm liking that. That looks nice. And maybe, let's see, what else do we do? I might draw an ornament. Oh, it says CJ. Oh, that's a good idea. Yeah, let's do an ornament. And I think I might do, maybe we'll do this mint color for the ornament. Maybe we'll do like the mint and green combo because we don't have very much of that. I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to select both of these layers and I'm going to stick them into a group for you guys. We're going to keep this organized. Candy cane. And then let's make a new group, make a new layer. This is going to be ornament. Again, I'm keeping these layers separated for you guys in case you want to change the colors on them later. Okay, let's go ahead and grab that mint color, and I am going to do, should we do like a fancy shape? Maybe we should do, you know what we could do? We could use symmetry. Let's do vertical symmetry right here. And then we could do like a fancy shape. Oops, I accidentally pressed a button on my pen. Let's try that again. Actually, I'm going to turn on smoothing also so we can make some really nice smooth lines. There. There's a cool little ornament shape. Symmetry off. I'm going to make this a little bit smaller. Kind of looks like a little beet, maybe. A green radish. Oops. doesn't love some extra fancy? I know, right, Oliver? Same. Hey, Dee, welcome. How are you doing? Good to see you guys. Have any of you guys raise your hand in chat if any of you guys have made a repeating pattern in the past? Have you ever done something like this before? And if not, are you going to try it? Okay, so we have our little design. I'm going to, again, make a clipping mask over top, just like we did before. I'm going to grab this green color, and I think I'm going to do just some like quick little like zigzags. Okay, cool. Kind of looks like Charlie Brown's shirt. That's okay. Okay, I am going to stick with that for now because I don't want to run out of time. I am going to next, let's see. I'm going to close this. And I am going to come over here. That is our mockup that we're going to be using in a second. So I have this new document that I made earlier. What we're going to do is we are going to take some of these assets that we have over here, and we are going to plop them over onto our new document, and then we're going to use offset path. So I am going to, let's grab our candy cane that we just made, of course. I'm going to condense this layer down. And let's grab our ginger friend as well, I think. I think he deserves to be over here. Nice little ginger friend. I'm going to condense that layer down. And of course, let's grab our little ornament that we just made as well. Of course, you can always size these up and down as well, however you like. We're just throwing them on this document for now. Let's grab our snow friend. And let's grab a couple sparkles as well, I think. And then we can try to make a pattern with these. Let's grab this sparkle and maybe this one. Okay. So Penny says, oh, yay, yes. She's making a repeating pattern for wrapping paper. Yes, yes, it's very exciting. Okay, so we have our little assets. I'm gonna condense all these layers down. So basically what this is gonna be, the reason that we want our document to be a square is because it's gonna be our tile, right? So the few times that I've made patterns, what I have come to learn is that when I first started making them, I used to want to try to fill in like this entire square with design. But what I've noticed over time is that the more you fill up the square to begin with, the more once you create the repeating pattern, that you can actually see the edge of the square that you created. So like it's kind of like when you're starting out, before you do the offset path, like less is more. So I'll kind of show you what I mean by that. So basically we're going to try to stay away from the edge of the square, because if you start lining everything up with the edge, again, that's going to kind of give that look of the square shape. It's going to kind of accidentally give you borders. So we're going to try to stay closer to the middle, and we're also going to try to keep some breathing room between our objects. That's something else that I've learned with repeating patterns, is that when I first started, I felt like I had to fill in most of the space, but you'll see that once you make the pattern, even for me, when I'm trying to give extra breathing room, I'm like, okay, I'm glad I gave that extra space, because you'll see like once it's made, like, okay, wow, the pattern's pretty busy. But of course, if you're going for that maximalist look, obviously give less breathing room. But I'll show you guys what I try to do. So we're going to just kind of like throw these guys around, kind of like giving a little bit of, like I said, a little bit of breathing room in between. And maybe I'll flip over our little ginger friend here and just kind of like put these guys in different angles a little bit. Kind of separate them out, maybe kind of somewhat evenly. Then we have that star up there. That guy looks pretty good right there. And then what we're going to do is we're going to go up to filter, and then we're going to go down to other, and then we're going to go to offset. So right now, obviously, my settings are kind of like the same, what I normally use. So my document, like I said earlier, was 2400 pixels by 2400 pixels. You want your offset for horizontal and vertical to be half that. So for me, my document, half of that is 1200. So we have plus 1200 and plus 1200 for both vertical and horizontal. So we're going to press OK. And oh, you know what? Actually, I did not do that correctly. What you want to do is you want to actually condense all of your layers down first. And once you have all of them, you're going to have to rasterize your layers. Once you have all of them in place the way you want them to be, you can condense all of the layers down. You don't need to include the background in that, though. But you want to condense all of your assets onto one layer. So then we're going to go down to filter, other, offset. There we go. Now it worked. Now we have offset path. So as you can see, if you look on the top of the document here, here's our little top half of our ginger friend body, and here's the bottom half of our ginger friend body. And here on the left side is the right side of the ornament, and on the right side of the document is the left side of the ornament. So this is our repeating tile now. As you can see, we actually have a bit of a gap right here. But that's okay, because we're going to come in and fill that in with other assets too. So now that we have the offset, we have our edges. So that's the repeating part of it. So what you can do if you wanted to come in and add more assets, as long as it's not touching the edge of the document, you can add them wherever you want. So let's say we wanted to fill in that space with a snowflake or something, and then we can come in here and maybe add in like, I don't know, maybe we'll add in another sparkle or something. Can fill in this gap here. Hey, welcome everyone. Thank you so much for joining in. By the way, today we're making a repeating pattern, and later we're going to be putting it on a mock-up of wrapping paper. If you guys have any questions, feel free to throw them in chat. And after me today, by the way, we are also going to be having the wonderful Wade Acuff. And then after him, we are going to have Annika Agarwal and then Idara Ekpo. So thank you so much for joining us today. And also don't forget to download my asset pack as well. Okay, so I am going to go ahead. Now that we have our repeating tile, we are going to go to Edit and define pattern. So let's just do like Adobe Live Xmas pattern. And now that pattern is saved. If you guys don't have this this window open, all you have to do is go to Window and then go down to Patterns, and this will open up here. Okay, so now we have our repeating pattern. Excuse me. Hey, Brian, welcome. How are you doing? Sorry, guys, just catching up on chat for a second. Okay, so I'm gonna condense these down. There we go. Santa is here, indeed. Okay, I'm gonna make a new file just so you guys can see the pattern. Let's make a new file that's like just like a big file, just to give you guys an idea. So let's throw this pattern on there. make a new file, I'm sorry, new layer, and then just like fill it with any color. And then you can just tap on the pattern and there's our pattern. And if you go in here, you can actually tap on the pattern itself in the layer and you can see the pattern fill and you can actually move it around. And you can also scale it up and down. So yeah, super, super easy. Baban says, hi, Codi, greetings from India. Hope you're doing great, and I'm excited to learn something new today. Awesome. Yes, I'm so happy to have you guys here. Ryan says, this looks cute as always. Thank you so much, Ryan. If you would like to make a pattern yourself with any of these assets, feel free to do so. This asset pack is available for you guys to download. All right, so we have our little pattern, and what we're going to do now is we are actually going to put this pattern on a mockup. So super easy. All you have to do is tap. If you have a mockup template, by the way, I got this template. I licensed it from Adobe stock.adobe.com. And you can also download free wrapping paper templates there. I saw quite a few of them at stock.adobe.com/free if you would like to get a free template. So all you have to do if you have a template, like a ready-made template, is double click on the icon on the layer. So we're going to open up that file there, and then I'm going to go back and I'm going to actually tap on the second one as well. So we have two parts to this asset here. So we're going to make a new layer. We're going to fill it with black, and then we're going to add our little pattern on there as well. And again, you can always scale it down. So let's just say I'm going to scale it to like 75. Just so we can get a little bit more of the pattern. I'm gonna move it just so it has like kind of a good positioning on the image. So then I'm gonna file and save. Saving. And then I'm going to do the same exact thing for this one. We're gonna go, fill with black, new layer, fill with black. And then we are going to go here. And then let's go 75. And then we are going to save once again. And bam, now we have wrapping paper. How cool is that, you guys? Look at that. We made that in like half an hour. Like you guys could absolutely put these patterns in your portfolio for clients and stuff like that. Like it is so easy. And like Sam as well said, like we could totally do, if we had other mockups, like you can do like pajama pants or like baby rompers, you know, like all kinds of stuff. So yeah, super easy. Double-sided wrapping paper. Yes. So cool. So obviously also, like with these templates, you can change quite a few different things. So like if you want to, for your portfolio, you feel like the background is a little drab, what you can do is you can, grab a color from your, eyedrop a color from your design and put it as the background color. I think that looks so beautiful. And just like, it just kind of like ties it all together. I think I really like the red or the green. I think the green looks really nice. It's kind of like calming. But yeah, so like I said, I knew that we would probably have time at the end to make a few different patterns. So like, let's go ahead and do it. Like, that's it. Like, that's the end of the workflow, you guys. Super easy. Like beginner, this is totally like an easy beginner project for your portfolio. So let's go ahead and come back here. I'm going to make another new document. And I'm going to make something a little bit different this time. Let's do 8x8 again. I'm going to make a dark background one this time. So I think I'm going to grab, let's go back to my assets. I'm going to grab this, maybe like this chocolate color. That might be fun. Here's our new document. I'm going to put here, and I'm going to grab another asset. I'm going to do like the lighter colors on this one. So we have like a chocolate. the chocolate and the cream. Ooh, that looks really nice. Okay, so let's try to do all of the lighter ones. So we have this one. We have the candy cane too. I'm gonna go like this maybe. And then I might also grab the sparkles, and I think I'm gonna recolor these sparkles to be cream. I'm gonna right click on this and rasterize layer, and then I'm going to go to this checkerboard to lock transparency. And then I'm just going to brush that cream color on top of that sparkle right there. Becca says, yeah, that's a nice contrast. Yeah, I really like this. I usually work a lot with like light backgrounds. Like I kind of typically have that cream as my background. So I think it's a nice change of pace when I'm able to do like a darker background. And since we have so many of these lighter assets, I thought doing a darker background might be fun. So what I'm going to do this time, oh, actually, we can't really use the snowman because I use the same brown as his hat and his arms. You could go back in and darken his arms and his hat if you really wanted to, but I think instead I'm going to do most of this as snowflakes. I think that might be kind of pretty. So let's like change the size, and we're going to like make this big. I'm going to actually make this pattern a little bit more busy than the other pattern so you guys can get an idea of what that might look like. As I was talking about earlier, sometimes like if you're going for a maximalist design for your pattern, you can like kind of squish your assets together a little bit more. Voodoo Val says, that is one of my most favorite shapes for ornaments. Aren't they so cool, right? They're kind of like that, almost like a wide teardrop shape. They're so neat. So I'm just going to continue to kind of just like resize these guys up and down to kind of give a little bit of kind of just like variation. This one, I think I might size a little bit more. And again, we're going to size down a little bit more rather. We're going to try to stay away from the edges, and we're going to try to not fill in this space too much. I am going to do a second candy cane though, I think. Maybe do something like this, like where, one candy cane is kind of more vertical and one is kind of more horizontal. And I might actually size this one down a little bit too to give some variation there. Ryan says, I'll tell you what, the real game changer is when wrapping paper has a grid on the back. No joke. So true. I remember when that started becoming a thing when I was a kid. I remember there were like commercials about it. Like, because it was such a revolutionary thing. They would advertise that their wrapping paper had grids on it. Now it's like a standard thing. I'm going to, let's see. There's our original design. I'm going to bring in a star as well, I think. Maybe I'll flip this guy this way. Cool. Okay. So like I said earlier, not going to fill up that whole square. We don't want that whole square filled because we don't want artificial edges. So now I am going to just merge down all of these layers, and I'm going to do that. The keyboard shortcut for that, by the way, is Command-Control-E. And you cannot merge smart objects. So go ahead and just rasterize those layers once you have them sized the way that you want. And again, you don't need to merge down your background layer. So we just have our assets on top merged down. So then we're going to go to Filter, Other, Offset. And now we have offset our pattern. So cool. So now we can go ahead and add in some other assets. I might add in, maybe I'll add in another candy cane. Maybe I'll try to do it like a different way than the other two are angled. Maybe kind of like here. Penny says, I'm glad it's all the wrapping paper now, not just the expensive wrapping paper. It's so true. Like I said, like before, it used to be like such a marketable thing because it was such an uncommon thing to have a grid on wrapping paper. Now it's on everything. You even have grids on your parchment paper, like kitchen parchment paper now. I love that. Hey, Alessandra, welcome. Hello, how are you doing? Hey, RB, welcome. Okay, so I'm going to, once again, also, once you've condensed your layers down, what you can do if you want to grab an asset, all you have to do is use your lasso tool, Command Control C, Command Control V, and you can copy and paste. Whoa, why did that? I have no idea. Was I highlighted on the wrong layer? I might have been. Command Control C, Command Control V. Yeah, I think I was highlighted on the candy cane layer. Okay, so now we can just go ahead and copy and paste our little snowflake if we want to add it in here. Cool. So I'm going to condense that down. And then once again, we're going to go to Edit. And then we're going to go Define Pattern. We can go like Adobe, Live, Candy Cane, Pattern. Okay. Now I am going to go back to the sky, or was it? I have too many files open now. This one, and I am going to make a new layer again, and I'm going to fill it with black just so you guys can see an example of this pattern. So here's what our little candy cane pattern looks like. Isn't that so cute? Oh my gosh, I love it. So we have like a bit of a gap here in the middle. So what we could do if we wanted to come back, let's see, where is that gap? That gap is, it's down southwest of our smaller snowflakes. So it's right here, this little gap right here. So I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to add in another, maybe another sparkle. I think I'll do, or maybe a star. Let's do that. So just kind of like, that's another thing that you kind of have to do as when you're pattern making is kind of troubleshooting. And so it's good to just like make your pattern and then look at it, kind of zoom it out quite a bit so you can see what it looks like from far away, and kind of just figure out where your gaps are. And then all you have to do is resave your pattern and then try it again. So since this space is so empty, obviously, so up here on the top is the bottom half of this space, and then at the bottom is the top half of the space. So I'm going to try to get this star to the center of that space. So that means that I'm going to be putting this star pretty close to the edge, right? But I don't want it to go over the edge because then it's not going to repeat. So we're going to have the whole star showing on this pattern here. So now let's go ahead and go to Edit, Define Pattern once again, and we're going to do like Adobe Live Candy Cane 2 and try that out again. We're going to go back to our pattern and we're going to grab, there we go. Now, so you guys can see the difference between those two patterns. So here is it before and here it is now. So we filled in that gap there. And then we can move this guy around to however we like. And again, like I was saying earlier, you can also zoom out your patterns quite a bit so you can really see what it looks like. Yeah, looks pretty, oh, that's really zoomed out. Oh boy, my computer's not liking that really zoomed out pattern. But there we go. There's a pretty zoomed out. And you can see that you don't really have any of those edges that I was talking about earlier. You can't really see like a square. If you were to fill in that square quite a bit, you could see the edge. And maybe we'll do that next. Maybe I'll show you kind of like a what not to do next because we have some more time for another pattern. Okay. CJ says, could you just add an offset to a single asset and make it repeat over the edge properly? Actually, you probably could. Yeah, you probably could. I've never actually tried that myself, but you probably could do that. I like the baby candy cane, says Becca. Yeah, it's really cute. Okay, so let's go ahead and we can go ahead and add this to our wrapping paper to see what that looks like. I'm going to close some of these files here. So I can go ahead and make a new layer. And then once again, I'm going to fill it with black, and then we are going to add in our design. I'm going to do 75 once again, just again, so I can have a little bit, a little bit more of that pattern showing. To be able to move your pattern around, by the way, you have to have this pattern fill dialog box open. You won't be able to move it around freely like this if it's closed. So if you want to adjust your pattern again, you can just open that dialog box. So there we go. Now we have that, and we can save. And then we have our other design here. Let's make a new layer, fill with black, add that pattern. Double click on the pattern itself on the layer. I'm going to do 75. Oops. And save. And then we can go, we can go to our wrapping paper. Look at that, you guys. Oh, look at it. It's so cool. Okay, so then we can change the background color like we did earlier. And just maybe we'll grab this red color. Oh, that looks so cool. I love it, you guys. Oh my gosh. I am so excited to see your guys' patterns made with these assets, and also just like any future patterns that you guys might make with your own assets as well. Like I'm just really looking forward to seeing, maybe if you post it on Discord, like please feel free to tag me on any of the Photoshop Discord. I'd love to see your designs. Yay! I know, it's so satisfying putting that pattern on a mock-up afterwards, because like it really feels real, you know, like you like your pattern when you see it as just like the file, but once you put it on the mock-up, it's like, yes, I love it. Okay, so let's do a pattern that's kind of like a what not to do pattern, so you guys can get an idea of what that might look like. Okay, so let's see. Here we go. This is the file that we need. Actually, no, let's close this file. I'm not going to save that. I am going to, once again, make a new file, 8x8. And let's just go ahead and stick with our cream background. And I am going to, let's do something different this time. Let's do our green assets. So I'm going to bring in our green assets, like our ornament that we have and our two trees. And maybe I'll do the snowflake again too, so we can just add in like a white one. Yeah, so let's try this. So basically what we're gonna do is we're going to fill this whole space with more assets than what we were using earlier, and I can show you how it would artificially create an edge. So like, let's say we're just gonna start adding these assets up against like the edge. Like, let's say we'll put that there, and then maybe we'll put one down here. We'll kind of like fill in this space with some of these. Belle says, looks so cute, Cody. Thank you so much. I've been having so much fun making patterns, you guys. Like it's been a blast. If any of you guys are also, you know, like if you're looking for looking to get into like surface design, whether it be like for kids clothes or literally anything like home decor or something like that, you're looking to build a portfolio with that kind of work, like this is exactly what you're looking for, like making patterns like with this kind of workflow and just putting it on different mock-ups and stuff. Yeah, you could totally do this for your portfolio or for a future client. So as you guys can see, I'm kind of like putting these up against the edge here, and it might not appear so at first, but once we start once we like actually define the pattern itself, you'll really, and we kind of like zoom out, you'll really be able to see that edge of the square. I do like this green kind of monochromatic set we have here, though. That's what's fun about having like an asset folder like this, like a kind of like a bunch of assets that go together, is that you can have a bunch of different combinations of them too. There isn't just like one set thing that you would make. So let's see, we have 3 of everything except the mint tree. So let's add another one of these guys. What I also try to do when I'm doing patterns also is I usually try to work big to small. So when you're placing these assets, like if you have, for instance, since I have different size assets, like I have trees, but then I have smaller assets like the sparkles, you would want to start with your bigger assets, like your characters, like our snow friend and our ginger friend first. Those things are going to take up the biggest area. And then you kind of want to go back with your smaller assets to fill in those little, like just extra gaps that you might feel like are a little bit empty. But of course, you can also scale things down. But if you're keeping certain things certain assets a certain size, and you know that you're going to have smaller assets, you can add those last. Carol says there are probably several companies that make fabric out of your artwork. I would love that. Honestly, that's kind of what I'm going to be trying to lean towards in the next few months here. I'm going to try to get into more surface design. That's kind of part of the reason why I did this pattern stream today, is because that's what I've been working on behind the scenes. I'm going to try to make more patterns for my own portfolio. Because I personally just really enjoy it a lot. Like just for my artwork, I feel like it works really well because that's kind of like what I enjoy drawing the most, is just like objects and like little characters and stuff. So that is kind of like what I'm gonna be trying to do here. Okay, so let's add another one. I'm gonna add another snowflake, just again for the sake of demonstration. I want to try to make sure that I'm showing you guys what not to do. I'm gonna add. So we have assets along the whole edge of this square here. So now we're going to define our pattern. Define pattern, and then we're going to go what not to do. There's our pattern. So let's see. Here's our asset, our extra file that I'm just going to show you guys this new pattern on. Gonna make a new layer, gonna fill it, and then we're gonna add our pattern. And now let's go ahead and zoom out this pattern and see. Hopefully it's a demonstration of what not to do. Hopefully I did a good job of what not to do. Actually, yeah, no, it's actually not really showing the square. It kind of is. It kind of is. You can kind of tell like each group of sorry. Oh, my voice is going out. You can kind of tell like each group when it's zoomed out like that, each group of, let's go to 30% of assets here, especially with the contrast of those dark trees. You can really see like here, I can color with a red marker. You can really see like, oh, here's a square, here's a square, here's a square. And that's really easy to do. Becca says, I actually really love this one. I actually really like the monochromatic look of it, but I'm just as an example, this is what can happen if you have a repeating pattern that's zoomed out enough. You can kind of like see the edge of your group of assets. But if you want to kind of avoid that, like I was saying, you kind of want to just avoid the edges of the squares. Becca says your art is perfect for surface and pattern design. Oh, thank you so much. That gives me so much confidence, because right now I'm kind of like just like so overwhelmed with the thought of making all of these patterns. I'm not actually planning on making a bunch of patterns over the Christmas break. So hopefully I'll be uploading some stuff to Instagram as well. You guys I can show you a pattern that I made. It's not Christmas themed, but I can show you a pattern that I made recently of for a kid's design, if you guys would like to see, since we're getting there on time. So I'm going to fill it, and it's actually this pattern of unicorns I made. So I'm going to go ahead and just save this so we can kind of see what it looks like on the on the wrapping paper, so you guys can get an idea of what it could look like. Oops, that is not the right, not the right file. There we go. There we go. Save. And there, whoop, doesn't look great with the red background. Let's change that. Let's go mint. There we go. Yeah, so here's the little unicorn pattern that I made, I don't know, like a couple weeks ago. But this is an example of kind of like what I've been working on. So like, as you can see, like with this pattern, I kind of really worked to give that negative space. There's a lot of breathing room around each of the assets. As you can see here, I'll draw, you know, there's like all of this gap. There's like an equal gap almost. It's kind of like eyeballed. I wasn't like super particular about it, but I made sure that there was a decent gap around each asset. There was even more around this one, more up here. So yeah, and I also, there were assets when I was designing this pattern, like I made a bunch of different assets, but I didn't use all of them. There were actually more variations of the rainbow. And I used this same rainbow shape as like a little hoof pattern. I had something like this. And then I also had clouds as well, but I ended up not using all of them. And that's okay too. You know, like you might go through your design process and feel like, you know, like, oh, well, I made all of these assets, like I need to use them. You know, maybe you don't, you know, like I personally felt like when I made this pattern that it ended up looking nice, and not too like overwhelming and busy by just using these few assets. And maybe, you know, I can use those other assets in a different version of this pattern too. You know, like you can have different versions, like maybe you use the same assets to create a collection of patterns that look similar and cohesive, but they all kind of have different assets, but they look like they go together. And that's a really great thing for a portfolio too, because like, for instance, if you're going in for surface design, maybe your client would like to license not just this one pattern, but if you give them options, they could license a whole collection from you. If maybe they're doing fabric or they're doing like a kids line or something, and they want something like maybe they want this pastel unicorn pattern and they want to do a whole collection, maybe some solids, maybe some patterns, you know, maybe they want those other assets on different things too. So make sure that even if you're not using all of your assets, like don't throw them away, because they're super valuable to you. Yeah, so let's see here. Okay, so we can go ahead and make another pattern. Honestly, we have time for it. So I am going to go ahead and go back to here. Maybe I'll make another asset really quick. Especially since I'm gonna, like I said, I'm gonna be updating this file for you at the end of the stream. Right now, you have all of these assets except the candy cane and the ornament because I drew these on the stream, but I might make another asset, and I think I have an idea of what. I think I'm gonna do a little Santa bear. And if you guys have any questions, feel free to post them in chat. I'm sorry if I missed any other questions while I was explaining anything. But we can always go back and revisit your questions while I draw this last asset for you guys. Penny says could be a whole nursery theme. Yes, absolutely. Carol says wallpaper. Yes, that's another thing that you can do. I've seen a lot of mock-ups of kids' rooms where designs were put on wallpaper or bedding, you know, like sheets or a bedspread or anything like that. Like anything that's fabric or I mean paper or anything like notebooks, anything that can have any kind of design on it whatsoever, you can put it on a mock-up. Like, and that is just really great to show, you know, kind of like the non-creatives, those types of clients really love seeing your design actually on an object just because it's a little bit easier to visualize for them. You know, you're much more likely to get a job if you have your work actually on a mock-up in your portfolio rather than just simply having it as the flat design. So here, as you can see, I'm not even sketching. I really personally just really like to, when I'm making these kinds of like simple shapes, I really like just coloring in with the brush. That's just how I work. Like sometimes I actually personally draw better when I'm drawing shapes rather than lines. That's just kind of how my brain works. So I'm just going to we need to make a separate, not a layer, separate group for this guy. I'm gonna do Santa Bear Friend. And then let's make a new layer. And I'm gonna grab this red color once again from our little snow friend. We're keeping that consistent palette here. I think I was going to make a curved hat, but I think I'm just going to make a triangle. Again, sticking with those simple shapes. Simple shapes are really great for patterns too, especially if you're looking to do kids stuff. And I'm going to grab this cream color. And let's see, I'm going to grab this orange color actually. Again, sticking with that simple pattern. Simple color palette. And I'm going to use that for his little muzzle. And then I'm going to grab that brown once again, and I'm going to use that for his nose and his mouth. And let's see, maybe I'll do the cream color for his eyes. Something like that. He kind of looks like he has no soul, but that's okay. Maybe I'll do this. Maybe I'll make his eyes a little bit bigger. And instead of doing dot eyes like I personally like to do, let's see, let's go undo. And I'm going to grab my my tablet buttons have just suddenly decided to stop working. Okay, let's grab this. I'm going to give him a little bit of a pupil. Now he looks like he's got a little bit more of a soul. Just a little bit. Delete. Okay, there we go. Perfect timing. All right, you guys. Thank you all so much for joining us today. I really appreciate it. Again, after me, we are going to have the amazing Wade Acuff, and he's going to be making some ornaments, and then Annika after that, and then Idara after that, and then after the rest of the week, we're going to be having some amazing more holiday streams as well, for like 4 to 5 streams every day. So really looking forward to everyone else's projects, and thank you all so much for watching. And again, don't forget to download my asset pack and stick around for Wade up next. Thanks for watching, guys. Bye.